Good morning and welcome to TRK's Man Cave. Well, this morning we are working on a new project. I am scanning some slides, old slides that was made from film back in the 70s, at least, and maybe even earlier than that. But these are my old family slides that was developed back then, and we're going to try to scan them. It's not really scanning, it's taking pictures of them, okay? But it's technically called scanning, I guess. But anyway, I'll take you through the process that I'm going to do, and I'll show you kind of how cheap it is to actually do this rather than sending them off someplace and you know, that costs quite a bit of money to do. I mean, you can have them professionally done, and that might be for you, but for those that don't want to spend a ton of money but yet want to scan their own slides or old slides and preserve the old pictures and actually turn the slides into pictures, digital pictures, and then you can share them with your whole family. So I will show you how I'm going to do this. I've already tested it and it does work, and it will preserve your old slides. So with that said, let's get started. So I'm going to take you over here and show you the device that I'm going to use to do this job, okay? So as you see, I've got my phone. Now this is a Samsung S25, Galaxy S25. All right, I've got this piece that I bought off of Amazon. It was like $16, okay? That's all it is. Has batteries with it, and if you notice, it turns on, and this little backlight turns on and off, okay? You use your camera. It's set up in a cradle here that holds the phone. Now I've got a couple little pennies in here because the cameras on this phone are kind of thick, okay, the lenses. So anyway, I set a couple pennies under there to level the phone out so that it's hitting level. This thing slides side to side right here, okay? This clip that holds your phone will slide side to side, all right? So you can line it up, and of course you can move the phone back and forth. But anyway, you slide your slides right in here, okay? Now you got to get them, wait a minute, let me show you that again. You slide your slides right in here into this slot, okay? You have to make sure you're oriented correctly to so that your slides are not backwards or your pictures aren't backwards, so, and upside down. So you kind of just have to get it in there and look. Usually this red print goes up on these slides anyway. So anyway, I've already done a couple of them. I actually have the phone plugged into my computer, and I can actually pull it up on screen as I take the pictures. But I will show you that process later. That's kind of like a second, post-processing deal there that I will show you here in a little while. I have pre-cleaned these with a microfiber cloth, okay? Now I did not wet these, I just carefully took and wiped them off like this. Okay, I just kind of wiped them down, all right? I'm not going to do it again, and I kind of just blew them off. They say take compressed air, which you should. Take compressed air and do that. I do have some chemical that I use on my film, my movie film, the old 8mm Super 8 film. And it works really good. It's called PEC 12. And it would probably work on these, but I just barely cleaned them. They are really dusty and dirty, but I just really gingerly wiped those slides down and cleaned them. And it's probably good enough that I can go into post production and clean them up even more in Photoshop. Okay. If you don't have Photoshop, you can use a program called GIMP. It's free, and it will do the same thing. I mean, you can do the same thing. I have GIMP, but I haven't used it in so long that I would have to relearn how to use that program. And for the sake of this video, we won't. We'll just use. I use an old version of Photoshop so that I don't have to rebuy. You know, now it's a monthly service, and I tell you, it's a good, very, very good program. But for this video, I'm using an old version of Photoshop I've had for 20 years, probably, at least. So maybe not. It's been about that long, not 20, but because it's a newer version than that. But it's probably at least 15 years old, I expect. Anyway, that's what I use. So all that said, we will get started here and see if we can't get some of these scanned. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this for now, because literally we don't need to copy these to the computer right now. All right. All we need to do is get them scanned. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my light on. I can kind of look to see. That looks like that's up. We will see. I think I need to put it in like this. Okay, just slide that in there like that. Okay. Now I've got this scanner program called Pick Scanner that when I bought this little device here, it gave me a link to this scanner program, which is, I guess it's free too. Ribozen. Welcome to Ribozen. Okay, we've got to line it up. So we've got the slide here. We line it up. Or we try to line it up. Okay. And you can adjust the color. Now you can do this in post-processing too. Why are you doing this? Okay, there. Kind of hard to get lined up. Kinda. Okay, we've got that one lined up. I think you can touch different places on it to make it light or dark. That looks pretty good because I think that it brings out some of the clouds in the background in the sky. It looks blue, but I can change that in post, or I might even be able to change it in this program. So let's take a picture of that. Okay, so I can actually let's see, saturation, warmth, orientation. Yeah, see, there's all kinds of things I could do to this, but I think that I won't do that. Gosh, there's mold on this one. Oh boy. You know what? I'm going to X this one right now. Okay. We're not going to do this one right now because I might be able to take my PEC 12 and I might be able to clean that slide and get that that mold off of there. Okay. Let's put that one in. I don't know why it's so far off. Okay, this needs to go up like that. Well, it's upside down, so let's go like this. Okay. All right. I really wish that it was a little bit zoomed in, and I can't zoom it in with this. So we will see what we can do. Well, that looks pretty good right there. Okay, so let's take a picture of that. Now, I didn't save the other one. Now, I can actually crop this in this program. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, I can actually do a 3.4 or 4.3, 16 by 9. You can do a preset on it, but I don't know how that works. Let's try it. Okay, that's preset there. That's preset. Yeah, I don't want to do that, see? Yeah. We want custom. 1:1. Okay. Let's do 1:1. And then bring in the nodes around it for a custom crop. Okay? So there we go. So let's just hit OK on that. All right. Now, like I said, I will probably do more to this photo in post. So let's do that, and it saves the picture. Okay. So let's go back now. Let's go ahead and take that one out. Now these are the ones that I've done already. Now you can take this if there's too much light in around this ambient light. Let's see what we got here. I think I can go like this. Okay, yes. If you have too much ambient light around it, you can take this little box and go around it. There. Now, let's bring this back over like this. Oh yeah, see that? I think that does even better with that thing around it. Yeah. That does way better. Okay, so wow, this is so cool. All right, so I'm going to take a picture of that. It looks good. I'm not sure. It just looks like, I'm not sure why. It just looks like my phone is just a little bit off. Let's go back. Exit. Let's go back. Just trying to get the phone straight so that it's taking that picture straight on. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's retake that. Okay, now let's go over here and crop. Yeah, using that little box around it really does good. Okay, there we go. So let's hit save. Now that saved the crop. So it should be cropped now. And let's just hit save again. So that should have saved that picture. Okay? You can even share it from here. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's hit home. All right, take that off. Let's just set this over here. Kind of look up and see which way they go. I think that it's that way. This would be easier, I think, if I turn this thing around. Really. Okay. Wow. That's really bright. So you can kind of just touch on the picture in the bright spots and it'll darken it. That's a really bright photo. Okay, so let's take a picture of that one. Let's go ahead and crop. All right, and then hit OK. All right, and then hit OK again, and it should save the picture. All right, I think I'll leave it just like that. In Photoshop, I can crop this just a little bit more and dress it up a little bit more and change the coloring, and I can do whatever I need to do to it. Plus, I can also save it as a PSD file where I can pull it up and edit it again and change it to whatever kind of format I want. So that's good stuff. Okay, let's go back now. It's all time consuming, but you know, I mean, you're saving old stuff, old photos, you know. I do believe it's worth it, you know. Okay. Well, that's probably at Disney World or something. I don't know. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So I'll get it down as good as I can, and then I can crop it a little bit more in Photoshop. Well, this is actually a pretty good little program. You can do all your editing right on here. You wouldn't have to put it into Photoshop if you didn't want to. It's just I like to get in there and tweak it some, you know. Especially for smudges, you can fix that kind of stuff in there. But this is pretty good. Yeah, these pictures that I'm doing right now was 71 and 72. 1971 and 1972, I believe. I would have been 11, 12. No. If it's 71, 72, I would have been 9, 8 or 9. 8 or 9, you know, whichever year it was. Everything's kind of slow because I'm not used to this program that I'm using. Hopefully it's saving them. I'm sure it is, but hopefully it's saving the pictures. It doesn't have like a save button It just has a green arrow that you click. All right, there we go. One more maybe? I got one more, and then there's another one that I think that I'm going to try that PEC 12 on here in a minute. As soon as I can dig it out before I go on. Huh. You know, this may have been a Colorado trip many years ago. Possibly. I remember taking a trip to Colorado, and that may have been what this was. But I'm not positive on that. Okay. I'm going to take this slide here, and we are going to see if I can't clean it just a little. I don't know if I can or not. Yeah, it's just like, oh, that mold is strategically placed on my cousin's face. Makes it look like she has a mustache. We don't want that. So, let me see if I can't get some cleaner and clean that up, okay? I'll be back. All right, well, here's my PEC 12 cleaner, and I've got just a little bitty rag that's made for this cleaner. I don't want it too awful wet. Okay, whoa, boy, this stuff stinks too, really bad. Okay, I'm just going to take it and yeah, I don't know. Take it and clean it off a little bit. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I really don't want to rub this stuff very much, you know. Alright. Stuff dries really fast too, so it's not. Well, let's see what happened. See what happens here. Get in there. Nope, didn't fix it. Unfortunately. It definitely cleaned the slide, but I'll go ahead and take a picture of it, but I don't know if we can save it or not, you know. It's just, that's not good. Unfortunately, that's the problem with old film. I mean, this film's been around for a long time. These slides have. Okay. And save. All right. That is 20 of the slides saved so far. Okay. Got 20 of them saved. Right here. Okay, so all right, we are going to go on over to the screen here in just a second, and we will pull these photos up, copy them onto the computer, okay, and then we will pull them up in, not all at once, but I'll pull each individual photo up in Photoshop and see what we can do with them, see how well they turned out. So I will be back with you in just a minute. Okay, well, we are back, and I know this is a different screen, but we're going to be doing this on the computer. I'm going to take my phone, And we're getting ready to plug it in here, okay? I'll plug it in, and we will get these files transferred over. And what you're viewing right now is Adobe Bridge, okay? And once I get the files transferred over to the computer in the correct folder, the photos should show up in Bridge here, okay? And from Bridge, I can open them up in Camera Raw and edit them just a little bit and everything else. So we'll go ahead and plug this in and see if we can't get this thing to work. Okay. So there it is. Now I've got multiple screens here, so you don't need to see. I was just pulling the phone files up, so off of my phone. Okay, so there they all are. I'm going to go ahead and copy these over to the correct folder. See, they're showing up. Now, I'm just copying these off of the phone into a folder in my pictures folder. I named slide scans or something like that. So I've got those copied over now. Now, these two here, I did last night. I was doing a test to see. And if you notice, one of them is a JPEG and one of them is a PSD. Now I'm going to take each one of these photos and make a PSD of them. That way I can pull that PSD up and then I can edit it and save it as a PNG or whatever. Once you save something as a JPEG, it's a certain compression, you know, and I mean, you can change it if you want to, but the PSD is the raw file basically. All right. Now, obviously, I'm going to be transferring him from a JPEG to a PSD. So, but anyway, I won't lose any more quality by pulling up a JPEG and then transferring it to like a PNG. So, whatever. It'd be better if I could take a picture of them and they'd be a raw file, but right now, I'm not sure that I can do that because I'm using a certain scanning program. But anyway, here they are in Adobe Bridge. All right. So I can go ahead and close my other windows on my other monitors. Okay, so we're working off of one monitor here. And so anyway, let's go ahead and right click on this first one here. And we will open up in Camera Raw. All right, it is definitely opening up on a different screen. Okay, then we'll pull him over there. So we've got it up in Camera Raw, and as you see, it's just an old picture at Christmas time. Now, it looks like you can see just a bit of a rolled edge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and crop this, if we can. Okay. Just crop that rolled edge out just a little bit. Okay, enter. Yeah, it did crop it, but not much. I don't want to crop any more on that. So now I can, that picture's just a little bit blue. So let's yellow him up just a little bit so that it looks normal. Now if you notice, there's a lot of splotches up here. That's in the film itself. It's not their actual walls, but the splotches are actual problems with the film. So, and it looks a little bit grainy, you know, but I think that's what you're going to get. Now I can take the blacks and bring them up a little bit to darken it just a tad. Clarity, I don't know that I want to do clarity. We'll set him back to 0. Okay. Matter of fact, I might take the clarity down just a little bit, just to give it a little bit smoother finish there. The exposure, take down just a little bit. So that's looking pretty good. Okay, now let's go ahead and open image. Okay. Now this should open up in Photoshop, and it does. Now I'm sorry I'm having to do this. I can't. I have bifocals. I have to look out the bottom of my glasses. I'll just lift my glasses up a little bit so it doesn't look so crazy. Anyway, what I can do is the spot healing brush. Let's make him just a little bigger. A little bit bigger. And I'm going to rub over those spots. Okay, and it just kind of heals them, as you can see. Okay, now this down here, it kind of needs it too. Let's see what it does. Okay, better than it was, I guess. There's some other places that it's got like that there. It's just dirt on the film. All right. There we go. So for the most part, that's about all I'm going to do to that photo. And I think that looks pretty good, for an old slide that there's probably nobody even seen these. I mean, we probably watched these back when we were about that age, about 8 or 9, and that's probably the last we saw of these, because we probably didn't get pictures of them. We just had slides, and we would see them as a family. These are my cousins, by the way, and we probably had like a family night, and we all went and watched old movies and slides and stuff. So, but this is cool being able to do this. Now, I can take these, and they're all still living, so I can take these and make copies of them for them and give them to them. So this is a great deal right here. Okay, I don't know what this is over here, but it doesn't look like it belongs. It may. I'm just going to leave it. It's probably a chair edge or something. I can take that one out maybe. All right, so we are going to go ahead and file, save as, and I'm going to go ahead and, so it's already got my slide scans folder up. It's already got a name. It pre-names it when I take a picture, when I take the picture on my phone. So we'll just leave that name. I can rename them later, but we're going to go ahead and save this as a PSD file. That way I can pull this PSD up, and then I can save it, I can rework it, I can work on it, and then I can save it as a PNG or a JPEG or whatever format that I want to save it in after that. I'll go ahead and save it first in a PSD format. So let's go ahead and save that. So that's saved. Now let's go ahead and save as again, and let's just do a JPEG file, okay? Because that's the normal file, and it will want to overwrite. Okay, let's save. Yes, we do want to overwrite it. Okay. So that should have overwrote it. Should have. So, well, that's what I've got to do to each one of these pictures. So, with that, I won't go through it all again, but because this is what I've got to do to these. Each one of these photos, I have to work with each one of them and save them, and that saves these slides. So, like I said, the little apparatus that I used to scan with, I got that on Amazon for like, I don't know, it was like 16 bucks. I mean, it's under 20, okay? So I will see if I can find the link to that, and I'll leave a link in the description, okay, so that you can check that out too. And then if you would like to do it, evidently it is compatible with any phone, I guess. So obviously the better camera you have, the better the picture quality, I suppose. So be aware though that some cameras on these phones, the lenses protrude up on your phone itself, and it will cock that camera it'll cock your phone up and you won't get a straight on photo. So you need to lift it up and make sure that phone is flat, okay, when you're taking the pictures. That's why I use the little pennies underneath it to level it out. So with that, I think that I'm going to end this video, and if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I'm sure you have some advice on scanning photos and scanning slides and movie stuff and things like that. So leave a comment, hit that notification bell before you leave, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.